This is Minister Paul, a watchman on the wall in Northern California, with a prophetic warning to be prepared and to pray. It's September 5th, 1:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On May of last year, right here's the date published, the Lord had showed me a vision, and it was very intense, and it was all these white FEMA vehicles. Some of them were ambulances with their lights on. They were rushing towards an area in the East Coast, and the power was out. This is an actual picture of them involved with the Air Force Base. The Air Force Base is mentioned in this. It's home of a FEMA camp, I believe. So don't quote me on that part. So the power's off. So what I did was I searched for what I saw in my vision, and this is the picture I found, and I saw the power off. And in the vision, a hurricane had struck just like this picture you're seeing.
And so this picture...
So if we go to the 245-minute point, 45-second point, there's the Air Force right there. I'm going to mention a specific state. Again, this was last May. Let's start right here.
When I saw something hitting, this is what I saw. I saw a red planet or object coming down and hitting a green area. And I realized, I was telling someone in private yesterday on Facebook that it was kind of shaped like Florida or Italy. It's about
Florida. And so that red object I saw is currently on the front of today's news. And it's on a direct path as the strongest recorded earthquake ever in the Atlantic Ocean, ever, with the prediction of Florida. She's a beast. There it is. Another part of this, I'll just continue. On July 21st, 2017, I'm reading my notes here that I took, and this is all recorded on YouTube. I received a revelation of a vision of war. That was July 21. And then I saw a spinning 9 and a spinning 7, and I heard repent. The spinning 9 and the spinning 7. I'll play some of this a little bit.
On 7/21/2017, so that was approximately 5 days ago, I had this vision concerning war. And I had woken up sometime after midnight, I don't recall when, approximately 1 or 2 a.m. On this date here, 7/21, and a vision began. That was very startling for me. There was comfort in this vision, but it just hit hard. I mean, this just hit hard. I saw this number 9, and this number 9 was coming towards me, and it was turning red and began to look like flames, and it just stopped in front of me at 9. And then as I continued to look on, there was a pause, and then the number 7 came right after it.
9/7. And my notes say, you are faithful with my 3/7 revelation, something I've shared for 5 years on here since July 2012. And now I will talk to you plainly and clearly on the end of days. And he is. He's a faithful God. And the judgment is here. So I prayed and I prayed, and here's the date on that. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed on what this 9 and 7 meant. Because shortly after that, I've seen the number 4 in a vision, and I've talked about this. It's all recorded on YouTube. And so I began to pray, Lord, you know, what good are these things if I don't know what they mean and I don't know how to warn? I'm like the 9/7. And I've been praying over this for a few weeks now, really. And the number 4. And he clearly spoke to me He said, I want you to count 4 new moons from the time I showed you the 9 and the 7. 4 new moons, because he showed me the 9 and 7 and then the 4. Count 4 new moons from the time you saw it. It actually took me 2 days to find this video because I wanted to be precise on the date. And I saw it on July 21st, 7/3, like this. 7th month, and the 21st day, 2 + 1 is 3, just like that. I'm explaining a lot of, Jesus told me to count 4 new moons from the time he showed me the 9 and 7 vision, and he told me the moon has 4 phases. And there are 4 watches, and there are 4 winds, and there are 4 seasons, and there are 4 horses. And he said, pray that your flight is not in winter. And so I went and did exactly as God said. I looked at the first thing I did was looked up moon phases. And there are 4 phases of our moon. It goes from first quarter, full moon, third quarter, new moon. And God had told me to count 4 of these from the 7/21. And so I have. From July 21st, it's 1, 2, 3. This would be 4. 12 p.m. on October 19th. This would be 4, as God said. And it's number 1173. 73. And we have this now. This is a warning. This is serious. I can't tell you exactly where this thing's going to hit. But God showed me exactly where Sandy was going to hit before it happened. And our faithful, loving God showed me exactly where Harvey was going to hit before it happened. And I believe he's going to speak to us all more on this red, swirling, man-made devastation. And he has me warning so clearly and precisely of this event. I mean, when you hear things of the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever recorded with 185-mile-an-hour winds, right after Hurricane Harvey, the lightning bolt and the sword, you'll begin to see that God did warn. God did warn. Over a period of years, he warned and warned. And it just all comes down to whether you were listening or not. I do not want any glory out of this. I think these things are astounding. I give all praise to God. It's my honor to pray for you, ask for your prayers, and to make it to heaven. So, if we go back to these 4, I'm going to go back to this. If we go back to these 4, it's going to bring us right through. I'm going to show you something. It's going to bring us right through that September 23rd sign. God has not shown me anything that's going to happen on that day. He hasn't. That's why you don't see a bunch of Revelation 12 sign videos on my channel, because I can't comment on something he hasn't shown me. He's shown others, but we're going to go right through that. And then this October 19th to October 7th, you know what happened during this time with the 7/3 warning number? You know what happened during this period? Sandy Hook hit. Sandy Hook hit on October 29th. Let me verify that real quick. I would have to go back and hear what I just said, but I don't want to rewind. I think I said Sandy Hook, and if that's the case, I want to correct that, because my search brought up the Sandy Hook thing, which was in December. But it's Hurricane Sandy. I was shown this in advance. It's recorded on here. I'm being led to start winding down my warnings. You know, my heart is heavy. I asked God, like, how much more? You know, when I received this revelation, how many more times do I have to sound the alarm, God? And this is exactly what he said. He is my witness in heaven. He said, as many as it takes, as many times as it takes, you're to warn. So it says that on October 23rd, almost 5 years ago, Sandy developed into Category 1. October 24th, Hurricane Sandy makes landfall near Jamaica. And then October 25th hits, looks like Cuba, which is right, basically, right now, Cuba is in the path of this new Hurricane Irma. And I believe there's a message to this because I believe they're both man-made. And so if we go check this time frame, October 23rd, it's right in the middle of this. The 4 new moons God told me to count. People are in grave danger, and we're in prayer.